Hi folks, so back at work again today. So this is the second day at work and it's lunchtime, so just out and about having a wander around, and I thought I'd do a quick vlog because I didn't get the chance to do one yesterday. So yeah, it's going really well. Again, quite enjoying myself. As I've said before in the videos, I love being back at work. It gives you a sense of purpose, a sense of, feels like you're contributing something, do you know what I mean? I just love it, and I love what I do. And I've worked out actually this month, which I won't get paid for until next month. Actually, I didn't realise, because I've got 4 days of the cuff training. Works out at 600 quid. So next month I should get 600 quid. So that financially will help a hell of a lot. I mean, it's better than 300 quid, so it's like twice as much as I would normally get, sort of thing. So that's absolutely fantastic. Now I'm just trying to think. Actually, I think we'll head in this direction, because down that way, by the way, just as a point of interest, and it's not that far down that road actually. I don't know, should I go down that way? Yeah, I'm trying to decide. Do you know what? I'll tell you what, let's have a walk down this way. Right, because down this way you come to Kentish Town, down this way. I'm not sure if I'm going to go all the way though, because it is a bit of a walk. Well, it's not that far, but I mean, the thing is, I've got to think about the time, because we've got to be back for 1. It's half past 12 now, so I'm not sure how long this walk takes, really, to be quite honest. Yeah, it might be doable, I guess. So I suppose if, yeah, we could walk down. Well, I don't know if I'll go all the way down to Kentish Town. I don't know. Maybe not. Just see how we get on. Yeah, I'm trying to keep this camera a bit steadier than I have been doing. I haven't got the selfie stick with me today, so because although it's a little bit awkward, it's not as awkward as holding the camera, right? I mean, I've got to walk with my arms sticking out right in front of me, sort of thing. I mean, 1, it probably looks really ridiculous, and 2, it makes your arm ache, so you got to keep swapping over every 5 minutes, so but with the selfie stick, sometimes, even though it's a bit unwieldy, like I said, at least you can keep it a bit steadier. Actually, that's one thing I have noticed. You can, if you just hold it in one position for long enough, you can get a bit of a steadier sort of, what's the name? You might be able to see that I'm bouncing up and down as I'm walking. You see, that's the problem with it. Now let me think. See, we could just double back on ourselves and go back that way, perhaps. Like I say, Kentish Town is down there. I'll tell you what, let's go this way. Plus the fact, hopefully it'll be a bit of a quieter road as well, so less noise, less traffic, and what have you. And then that way I can sort of, like, as I say, I'll be kind of doubling back on myself. So doing it this way, like I say, I'm heading back to work, sort of thing. So yeah, that gives me enough time to get back and what have you, because the last thing I want to be doing is being late. So because that's not going to look good, is it? They're all raring to go and the co-facilitator doesn't turn up, so, or at least on time anyway. Yeah, I'm trying to think actually. I'm not even sure whether I'm doing the next bit. Am I doing the next bit? I can't even remember now. Or is Jenny doing the next bit? And it might be Jenny doing the next bit. Actually, I can't quite remember off the top of my head. Or in fact, we might not have even decided yet. I don't think we've spoken about it yet, actually. Thinking about it, who's going to do that bit, and oh well, anyway, I'm sure we'll work it out when I get back. Yeah, so it's a little bit warmer today. Not, it's still a bit cold, but it's better than it was the other day anyway, definitely. But it's overcast. So we've got a load of cloud, no sunshine today, which is a bit of a shame, because I do like it when it's sunny. Not overly keen on the overcast days necessarily. I think it goes for anybody really at the end of the day, because like when the sun comes out, you feel so much better. You know, even if it's cold, you know what I mean? Just as long as the sun's shining, you tend to feel a little bit better, I guess. So anyway, yeah, so like I said, I didn't get a chance yesterday to do a video, so I thought, well, now I've got the opportunity, because I think yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, you see, because I got some money yesterday, so I actually went and got myself something to eat for a change, which I've not always been able to do, obviously because of the money situation. But so I got something to eat, and by the time I'd done all that and set up a few other bits and bobs and what have you, sort of thing, sorry, I'm distracted because I'm trying to decide which way I should go now, actually, and I'm not too sure whether we carry on straight. I don't want to get myself lost now, you see, that's the other flipping thing. I mean, hopefully, right, I'll tell you what, I'll get to the next corner, because I don't really know this area, you know what I mean? I don't know it, so, and that's, like I've said to you many times before, London can be so deceptive. You know, you think you know where you are, and you're walking along, and you get to a particular junction or whatever, and suddenly realise, or suddenly find, oh God, that's not where I thought I was going to be. You know, because some of these roads don't always necessarily run parallel with each other. Sometimes they sort of diverge off in another direction, like, so I could end up taking myself flipping miles away if I'm not careful. So it's just about, see, because like where that van, I don't know if you just saw that or not, there was a van just turning around that corner, just the next, not this corner, the next corner. And yeah, look, that says Kentish Town Community Centre on there. I don't know if you guys can see that. So essentially we actually are in Kentish Town, interestingly enough. Oh look, there's a big, massive church there. Yeah. I don't know, I must admit, I'm a little bit uncertain on myself here. So which way should I go? Do I carry on straight down? Or do I... I'll tell you what, let's go this way. Let's head towards this big church. I like churches, me. Like I say, I'm not religious necessarily, but I do. I don't know why, I just like them as buildings. I find them intriguing and interesting. The architecture and the shape and stuff. I've always liked them. Anyway, right. So let's see where this is going to take us, because it winds around this road, so anyway, hopefully if I just follow my nose I'll end up getting myself back. Oh, mind you, you see, this is just typical of me. The amount of times I've done this, where, you know, I'll just go for a little stroll somewhere, especially in an area I've never been, or that, well, not that I've never been, but I don't know well. You know, and I'll go walking around and end up getting myself completely and utterly lost. You know, and that's from a person who's supposed to have a really good sense of direction. So, right, okay. I'm starting to get a little bit worried. I mean, I think I'm still alright. I think I'm basically heading in the general direction, hopefully. It's either that or I end up just retracing my steps completely, which I might have to do if I'm not careful. Oh no, hang on, wait. Yeah, no, recognise that street name from when we were just on the other corner. See, if we go down that way, you come back to that zebra crossing we crossed when I was just started filming, if I'm not mistaken. Right, so, does that mean we... You see, because you'd think that this would... oh man, decisions. Don't get myself locked. Do you know what? I think maybe we better head back down this way, because, oh, mind you, it's 25 to, or just gone 25 to, so yeah, maybe err on the side of caution on this one, I think. And perhaps, now if I'm not mistaken, this should take us back to the zebra crossing somewhere, I think. Famous last words here. Look, there's that big church. That's quite interesting. Right, so I'm hoping that if I follow this round, this will take me back to where the zebra crossing is, I think. Oh god, typical of me to get myself lost. And that's the other thing, you see, sometimes, unless you've got a particularly distinctive landmark, like, for instance, that church, sometimes these streets, and with the houses looking very, very similar to each other, unless there's a specific landmark, see, because that's how I navigate. I guess a lot of blokes do it that way, because they say that men and women navigate in a different way. And I could be wrong, but as I say, you know, I'm not necessarily going to start researching that and trying to find out for absolute certain whether that's the case or not. I'm fairly certain that we do navigate in different ways, and you know, as a bloke, generally, I tend to use landmarks as a way of navigating where I am. You know, so yeah, actually, yeah, because now I've just completely rounded the corner from where I originally said perhaps we should turn down and decided not to. So this would have been the I think this would have been the road that we would have come down if I'd decided. Yeah, because there's that shop on the corner, you see how I'm using the landmark of the shop on the corner. That's the one we've just passed, so essentially I've just looped all the way around. But you see, that's the thing, sometimes, like I said, believe it or not, I'm not joking, right, sometimes you can do that in London and think you're absolutely looping round. But as I said, sometimes the road won't actually necessarily follow a complete loop. Sometimes it'll kind of veer off in another direction, but in a very subtle way, sort of thing, so you won't really necessarily notice it, especially if it's a particularly long road. Yeah, so I think what I'll do is we'll just head back up from where I first started and then head back to work. So right, okay, so I'll just show you where we are now. See, we're back coming up towards where that zebra crossing is, which, if I'm not mistaken, is straight up there, and you'll see this green tiled building that we passed. I definitely remember passing that green tiled building because I saw it in the screen as well when I had the camera pointing at me. So yeah, it's an interesting building as well, by the way, when I was walking past. It's quite old looking, looks like some sort of old warehouse style thing. And I was interested in the windows, and you know, it's got like it looks like some sort of engineering shop. It's got like a pillar drill and stuff in there. Don't know if people are familiar with pillar drills. I remember them from school. I only ever used them when I was at school. I've never used them since, but you know, when we're doing metal work and stuff like that. So that's what that sort of strikes me as. It's some sort of engineering shop. I was just going to point the camera in the window there, but there was a bunch of people there, so I thought better not, because like I say, there was some interesting looking machinery in there. Oh, damn. No, you didn't see that. As I was talking, a load of spittle coming. Sorry. So, anyway, yeah, there was a bunch of machinery that looked quite interesting, but there was a bunch of guys standing there, so I thought I better not stick the camera in because it'll look rather rude, and also we kind of, is it really the dumb thing, and is it appropriate to be, you know, if there'd been nobody there and it's just to see the machinery, do you know what I mean, just have a look at the machinery, because I thought, oh, see, that's the thing with me, like I say, I have a fascination with stuff like that, you know, with like machinery and how things are built and made, all that sort of carry on, construction sites, what else, you know, the gubbins of buildings, you know, when you can see the gubbins, you know, the piping, the, you know, the electrics and the sort of girders and all that sort of thing. I love all that. Like I say, I couldn't tell you why I particularly do or feel drawn to it, but I just do. I find it fascinating, absolutely fascinating. Right, so there's the zebra crossing, by the way. The zebra crossing is just there. That's where we started filming, and this is the corner that we went round. So yeah, so basically we've done a complete loop and gone all the way back round. So and then what we'll do is, in fact, what, I'm not going to stop the vlog with me. I think I'll take you a bit down, because what I've come is across the road, across the main road. I don't know what it's called, because like I say, I don't know this area right well, so I couldn't tell you what the name of the road actually is, but it's the one that leads to Camden, essentially. Kentish Town's down that way, like I said. So Kentish Town or at least the station. I mean, maybe we're actually in Kentish Town again. I'll you know, I have no idea whether you know, about boundaries and all the rest of it, and where one particular borough starts and another one finishes. I don't know, and particularly in an area that I don't know, you know what I mean, even more so. But I do know that if you walk down that way, and in the next couple of months when I'm delivering back here at the bridge school, because I will be doing a few more there. Oh, hang on, where am I talking about? Hey, wow, wait a minute. Now I really have confused myself. Well, that isn't it. No, it's behind me, isn't it? Silly so-and-so. Oh, I'm supposed to have a good sense of direction. I'm telling you about Kentish Town being up there, but it's down there. God, what am I like? Ah, sorry. Right, let's get across this road. And yeah, so we walk back up here. And I know this is going to be a longish video, and it's probably going to be a little bit boring because it's just me waffling on essentially about nothing really, but you know, I love making vlogs. I do absolutely love making vlogs, and sometimes they're interesting, sometimes they're really boring, sometimes they're very manic, but that's just me, you know. And I suppose in some ways, like Adam says, and I can, you know, the more I do this, and the more I do it in a public space, and the more I do it on a fairly regular basis, and the more I do it, even sometimes, to be perfectly honest with you, some days it's kind of like I feel so lethargic and lack of energy, or I'm feeling really down or whatever, that I don't necessarily always want to do one. But like I say, I like to be consistent, I like to be current, and so sometimes I'll do the vlog in spite of how I'm feeling, and inevitably though, I find that I actually quite, you know, I start perking up actually once I start doing the vlog. So, you know, in some ways it's kind of therapeutic for me to do this, and like I say, oh, actually, what was I going to say? It's gone right on my head. I was on about something. It's my arm's aching, you see, and it's starting to distract me. Because, like I said, maybe I should have brought the selfie stick with me. Because I don't know if you're noticing, but I am having to continually change arms now because both of my arms are starting to ache really, really quickly now. Anyway, so yeah, I like doing these vlogs because, like I say, it helps me. And also, like I said, hopefully you guys might get something from it, I hope. I mean, I don't know, obviously, for certain. You might not. Anyway, let me just show you this little high street thing here. Again, I couldn't tell you what the name of this road is because I've never really bothered to look, necessarily. So, but, like I say, we've crossed the main road, and well, we'll see once we get to the traffic lights. You'll be able to see what I'm trying to explain to you very difficultly at the moment. But yeah, there's something about this little section of this high street. Mind you, the other section of the high street where the bridge school actually is okay as well. It's kind of, I'm saying, but I kind of like this. I don't know why. I mean, it's nothing special necessarily. You know what I mean? It's not like, and there are some nicer, more picturesque high streets that you know, that I've taken you to, that you've seen, and I've shared with you. You know, so what it is about this particular bit, I have no idea, to be quite honest with you. But for some reason, like I say, I feel quite, I don't know, drawn to it. Yeah, I don't know if drawn is the right word or not, but definitely simply. I don't know, there's something about this little section of it, particularly this little section, but even the section we've just passed. And by the way, I keep turning the camera back to me sometimes because, like I've said to you before, I don't necessarily want to not deliberately, but if I can avoid sort of filming people, because, you know, it's not about filming other people, it's just about me doing vlogs. And being out and about, obviously, inevitably, you know, people are going to be in the shop at times, you know what I mean? And so, you know, it's not about deliberately trying to film people sort of thing. It's just inevitable. But and as I'm trying to, especially as I'm trying to show you stuff, you know what I mean, and I'm trying to explain something to you, especially like in this sort of situation, in this particular environment sort of thing. Unlike, say, if I've gone to a castle or something like that, then obviously if it's a castle or something like that, it's going to be slightly different, because it's going to be kind of easier in some ways to avoid capturing people deliberately in that sense. But when you're out in a high street or whatever, it's a lot harder, obviously, for the very nature of it. So sometimes I might be talking about something and I might have the camera pointing at me, but I'm talking about the street. Do you know what I mean? Or I might be talking about a particular thing in the street or whatever, and you guys might be thinking, well, what the hell are you talking about? Why don't you point the camera at it? Because the thing is, like I say, I'm just trying my best to not deliberately sort of, well, like I say, when I say deliberately, I don't mean like, you know, deliberately in that sense of like I'm going to film this person. I mean, you know, sort of, you know, I'm just trying to be mindful, I guess, trying to be respectful to some degree of people's anonymity and their, you know, I mean, yes, they're out in public, and again, I totally get the fact that, like, being out in public, at the end of the day, you know, I'm perfectly entitled to film, and if they end up on my camera or on my video, you know, then, you know, it's not, you know, there's no expectation in that sense, because you're out in public, from my understanding anyway. It's only if you're deliberately going up to somebody and trying to speak to them or whatever, then that sets a whole different parameter up. Then you have to get like permission and stuff like that. But even then, to be honest, I think some people have said that, well, even in those circumstances you don't necessarily have to. I'm a little bit, I think it's a bit of a grey area, to be quite honest. I'm not sure, but as I said, I just try to be a bit mindful about it. So apologies if sometimes I'm talking about something but I've actually turned the camera around and pointing it at me again, because chances are I'm just trying to avoid, you know, inadvertently getting somebody on the camera that perhaps, from my point of view, looks like they might not be that too happy about being on my camera. Do you know what I mean? Possibly. So, right, God blimey, my arms is really starting to ache now. Right, okay, so sorry that it wasn't more sort of informative. The other reason why I didn't film around here is because we've got people doing work on buildings and it's kind of noisy, so from that aspect makes it rather awkward and difficult. Right, I'm going to catch myself a quick fag before I go in, so I'll catch you guys later. Bye for now.